Do you remember growing up as a kid, going to your grandparents' house? And there was always that cookie jar or candy dish on the table, and you knew it was just a help yourself type of deal. My grandmother here, closest to the farm, her thing was always pound cake. You could go into the kitchen, on the counter there was always a fresh pound cake. She had I think it was something like a Tupperware cake container sitting next to the refrigerator. You could always get in there and go in there and get a slice of pound cake. My other grandmother, she had a couple of things. One thing was they had like oh gosh, what the heck? I guess just a pot on the front porch with a ladle, and that pot always had water in it. You just go to the pot and ladle out water. The water came from a dug well. If the pot was empty, you just went out, took it out to the well. They had a bucket on a string there, and you dropped the bucket down and you wound this thing up. And as a kid, you didn't know how to get that bucket right. It took some work to get that bucket tilted down in the bottom of that well to actually get some water in it. Wind that thing up and fill the pot up and then take it back in. She also had always had a cookie jar around. If you stayed at her house overnight, you always had ice cream. She always had ice cream in the freezer. So just before you went to bed, you got a bowl of ice cream. Well, I kind of miss those days. But now with my aunt living here at the farm, I think those days have kind of come back. One thing she always has, and it is my downfall, she has a dish right in the front door with M&Ms in it. So I can just sneak in there and grab a few M&Ms. She doesn't even know it. Sneak back out because she's hard of hearing, so she can't hear when the door opens all the time. Well, today I walked in and she had just baked some chocolate chip cookies for me. They're still warm and man, they are good. So I feel like I'm a kid again. Of course, I had some M&Ms while I was in there too. But, oh yeah, these are good. So hey, if my other aunt is listening to this, step up your game here. When I walk in, I expect maybe some cookies. No, wait a minute. No, to my other aunt, I have to give her credit. She has those hard mint candies, the white mint candies. Gosh, what the hell are they called? And they're individually wrapped. She has a bowl of those on the table. So I always grab one of those when I go into her house, but she could still step up her game maybe and have a few cookies for me every now and then. Okay. When I start a project, I like to have a clean place to work on. So I've got a couple of projects that I need to pull in here and work on, but I need to clean this mess up over here. I've got some siding here that needs to go out. This siding has been sitting here almost a year, I guess. I've got siding that is blown off on this shop here. I need to get that siding up. I've got just some extra 2x4s laying around. I need to get those out of my way because I can't get to this bench real clearly, but I need to change the oil, and I think every tractor needs an oil change right now. And I do have to bring in my John Deere 2510. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've got oil in my radiator, so oil in the coolant. That's not a good sign. So I think a head gasket is gone. I talked to Jeffrey the other day about this, and I had forgotten all about this, but he changed the head gasket in that tractor, I think it was 3 years ago, and I'd completely forgotten about it because I didn't help him with the project. At the time, he was living here at the house. I was renting the house to him. And so he was coming out here in the evening and working on that tractor. So I wasn't even involved in that. So that was just changed 3 or 4 years ago. So he told me maybe I've got a warped head. So I've got to get that tractor in here, pull it apart, and figure out what's going on there with that head gasket and see if I do have a warped head and what needs to be done about it. This has been bothering me for a while. I've got a bunch of scrap wood up there that I just need I need to clear it out or do something with it. It's just pieces, you know, anywhere from 24 inches long up to maybe 8 feet long. It's just oddball stuff, whether it's trim or just a piece of board. My father could never throw anything out. So I want to get up there and clean that out, throw a lot of that crap away because I don't need all of it. I'll have a place to put those 2x4s up there that are more readily accessible. You can see we've got some wood piled up here, just laying against here because it'll get lost up there. So I don't know. I just gotta jump into it and do it, I guess. I've still got pieces of that 4200 from pulling that apart, but I still haven't figured out what to do about the hood on that tractor. You know, it's all broke up and cracked up, and I hate to spend a couple $1,000s on it, but it'll look much nicer if I do that. This isn't the year to be spending the extra money on stuff like that. The tractor runs. You know, if corn prices were $6 and soybean prices were $14, then, oh yeah, it's full send. Call up the Deere dealer and order anything you want. But no, this year it's more like take advantage of Abilene Machines Black Friday deals and get that 10% off on different things. Actually, what is their deal today? I know I got an email from them, and it is Friday. Combine and header parts sale. 10% off combine and header parts. I think I looked at their site before. I need the skid plates on my soybean header. All the skid plates are kind of worn out on there, but I don't think they carry those skid plates, so I can't get them from Abilene. I've got to look elsewhere. All right, enough of me talking. Let me get to work. Just scraps, basically scraps of wood. I'm trying to organize it somewhat so I can see what I have up there, and I have found some stuff I didn't realize was up there. I've got a couple of oars here and a nice crab net. I've got some the railings for barn doors. I've got a whole bunch of trim here, trim and molding. I did find a couple of pieces of siding up here and some J-channel. I'm trying to make a place right here to put my 2x4s up there, so I'm about halfway here. Now, there's 2 levels here. There's one level here. This is kind of a wood shop on the other side of this wall here, just in the small part of this shop here of the overall garage. So that wood shop only has 8-foot ceilings in there. And then up above is another place, but most of that is just lumber. It's not scraps. This place was too easy here just to throw scraps up there as you cut a board or something. You say, oh, I may need it later. Up there, it's more lumber, boards, and longer stuff going along up there, although I do see a couple of bushel baskets up here, but I'm not as concerned about that area up there. So let me get back on this side now. But I've got to move some stuff here as I'm just throwing the stuff down. I don't want to hit my gator, some other stuff. Farmer's daughter, I've got to get on her. She's got to move her stuff out of my place now because she's got a small shed over behind the house, so she can put all of her crap over there. She doesn't even know she has this crap, probably. Crap bolts. Where the hell and why the hell does she need all those bolts? Sunglasses. Look at that. Just stuff. She takes after her grandfather, I think. I try to clean stuff up and keep stuff to a minimum. Yes, we all have stuff, but I try to work on it constantly and keep it organized and to a minimum. All right, I should have showed a before and after, but I didn't. I've kind of got my small short pieces here that sometimes you just need a small little piece, and then we get into boards here. Hey, look at this one here. Well, all of these serving as a floor here on top of the wood shop down below. They're a good 14 inches, but hell, This one on the bottom here, that one's probably close to 18 inches. And then this one's probably 14 to 16 inches there. So there are some nice pine boards up here. All right, I've got to get back on this other end, and I've got a little bit more organizing to do down on that end. But all right, I'm happy here. I've got a lot of scraps down there to clean up, and my father was holding out on me. He had some large pieces of cardboard up over top here that he was hiding from me. That pile is out of my way, and 2x4s are stacked up there. I've put the siding up there for now. All right, I am feeling much better about this project now. Now, of course, since I turned the camera on, they're gonna stop making the racket, but there's some eagles in the tree over here. That tree right there. There's 2 of them in there. They've been carrying on all afternoon while I've been up here in the shop cleaning up. Oops, I think there's another one flying in, just flew behind the barn. There it goes. And I did see a 4th one land in one of that tree right there where that other eagle just landed. So that's 4. But they have just been squawking all afternoon, and I'm not sure. There's a dead tree across the creek here. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction there. Somewhere right in there. And it looks like it could be an eagle sitting on that dead tree. I'm not really sure though. Oops. Is that one flying there? Yes. That is one flying as well. Couple of them there flying, so they are active today. So I'm not sure if it's mating season, nest building season. I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen them in a couple of weeks now, not that I've been out here really paying attention. There's one landing in that tree there now. That other one is going over to these other trees. Okay, there you go. Can you hear that? They must have seen me walk out here, and so they've calmed down now. Oh, there goes 2 of them out of that tree. And they're flying across here, right across the top of the barn there. Oops, they're going to turn back around. Come back in. They don't know where they want to go. Oh heck, I think there's one in this tree down here by the barn. Now that I'm looking, I see a big bird in that tree. See right there. So that is at least 5 that I am counting, and maybe 6 if that is one in that dead tree across the creek. Okay, I think it's time to lock up everything. You know what? I need another chocolate chip cookie. Or maybe 2. And what about that latest Trump nomination with Matt Gaetz for Attorney General? That is a hell of a nomination. Not sure that he can pull off and get enough votes, but man, if he can pull it off, he will shake things up there at the Department of Justice. And what was the other one since I last talked? Doug Collins. Doug Collins, was he former governor of Georgia? What was he appointed to? I can't remember now. But then the whole shakeup by pulling Rubio, putting him as Secretary of State, who could take his place as senator in Florida. So there are two theories floating around right now. So Matt Gaetz, the theory is that maybe he was offered the position of Attorney General in order to get him out of Congress before the report came out that wouldn't paint him in a good light. He won't get the nomination for Attorney General, but then he can be nominated or appointed as the senator in Florida to replace Rubio. That's one scenario. The other scenario I've heard is Lara Trump being appointed senator in Florida to take Rubio's place. That would be an awesome pick as well. So then maybe this could be the start of the Trump dynasty, getting rid of that Kennedy dynasty. We get the second term of Trump the next 4 years. J.D. Vance turns around and is elected president, and he chooses Lara Trump as his running mate, and then he serves 2 terms, 8 years, and then turn right around and put Lara Trump into the presidency. So we would have a possibility of 16 years here of a great America. Wouldn't that be awesome? So I'm not sure how much of that will come true, but just some of the ideas floating around out there. Okay. I think that's enough politics, enough of this video. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to say, okay, let me correct myself. Doug Collins, former representative from Georgia, not governor. So I'm reading the latest picks here right now, the announcements today, I guess. So the big one is North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum as the Department of Interior Secretary. I think that's probably a good pick. And Doug Collins is Secretary of Veterans Affairs. There's a couple of personnel people that were picked today. Stephen Chung for Communications Director, Sergio Gore for Personnel Office Director. I don't know those two people. Tennessee Governor backs Trump plan to nix the Department of Education. Oh man, hasn't that got the libtards all their pants in a wad or their underwear in a wad? Wouldn't that be awesome to get rid of the Department of Education? Yeah, they have not helped matters any in the last 4 years, well, ever since COVID, and even before that. Mike Rogers in consideration for FBI chief after meeting in Mar-a-Lago with Trump transition team. All right, there you go. All right, I just wanted to correct myself there. All right, now I'm going to say, see ya! See ya!